Hey everybody, it's me Lady T, and I'm coming to show you how I do my face mask with the hole in the front. So here you see me tracing out the mask, and I am using a marker to trace my mask. I got this mask off of Google Images, and it was a free template, so I just got it off of there. And I put the hole in it. It didn't come that way. I put the hole in it because a friend of mine, Rhonda Jackson, had said it would be nice if you have a mask with a hole in it so people like me can smoke, talking about herself. Now there I'm showing you how I did the hole in it. I just made a circle and cut it, and I actually cut it a little bit smaller than the hole that's on the mask. That's fabric glue, and I'm going to show you what I do with that. If you can see the little cards that I have there, I cut them out on my Cricut machine so I can know which ones I could use, how big I want my flap to be on the mask. So you see a 2x3 card there, as well as a 3.5. The triangle is 3.5 and the rectangle is 2x3. And I like to use those templates, that way, you know, they can be uniform when you're doing them. So right here, what I'm doing is just tracing the shape, and I'm going to cut that out, and I'm going to cut out the triangle as well. Again, I cut them out on my Cricut machine because I can't draw, and it's just easy for me to have templates so I can refer back to them when I'm doing what I need to do. So that's me tracing out the triangle portion. And I'm just showing you two different options of how you can do it. You can use any shape you want to, really, as long as it covers the hole and you're able to put Velcro on the mask. That's what you want to do. So now I'm cutting the inside. I'm cutting inside the line a little bit because I don't really want you to see the magic marker. And it's late here, but I promised I was going to do this tutorial for a couple of people who asked me to do it. Not that you needed to see this part, because I'm sure that would be self-explanatory about cutting out the material in the shape of the template. So now I have my two templates, and here we go. So that is Velcro. That's the strip of Velcro, and that's the thinner strip of Velcro that I found. And this is one way that you can put it on. Now what I have there is the fabric glue. I got this from Joann's. I got the fabric glue from Joann's. And what you do is just put the glue on the edge of the piece of cloth that I just cut off. There, I'm using a triangle. You just want to make sure that it's at the edge of the circle so that when you get ready to open up your mask, you know, you won't have too much space in between the hole and the piece of material there. There you can see I'm using two Velcro dots, and I like these because it cuts down on time when you use them. You have the sticky side and you have the soft side. What I do is I put them together and I place them where I think I need them to be. And on that side, as you can see, I put it on the flap side. And now I'm going to put the glue on there. You just put a generous amount on there, but you know, not too much, because you don't need that much. This glue is very, very good. So I'm putting it back on. And I put the two pieces together because I want them to be able to match up when I glue the other part down. If you don't do it that way, you might not be able to align it, and I wanted to align it the right way. So I'm putting the glue on there. I should have done that first. Y'all forgive me. It's late here. It's late here in Philadelphia. So I'm putting the glue on the edge of the material, which I should have done before. And now I'm spreading it out because you want to make sure that you get it from end to end. Okay, you don't have to put that much on there, which I didn't put a lot. But you have to be very careful and make sure it's spread from end to end so that when you put it in the position you want it, it'll stay there. And I like this method other than the way I was doing it before I was sewing it on. I just like this method better because it's much easier and doesn't look tacky. So this is how I do it now. And again, I put the circle Velcro on there, and now I'm gluing the back side of the other piece of Velcro on there. And like I said, once you put the circle on there, you want to make sure that that's where you want it to be, because once the stuff sticks, it sticks. And I never found a way to sew the circle Velcro on there. That's why I chose to use the fabric glue. Now for somebody that want to be quick, look, this is a quick way of doing it, putting the circle on there. However, if you would like to have a bigger piece of Velcro to feel more secure or whatever, this is another method that I use, and that's the rectangle. And you're going to just glue it on just like you did the triangle. Make sure it lines up. You want to make sure it lines up because when a person puts the mask on, you want to make sure that the hole is not exposed when the flap is closed. At the top of the flap and the bottom of the flap, you want to make sure it's enough room so that it won't show. Now there's the strip of Velcro, and what you want to do is just take it and measure it to your material. And I cut a little bit less than the material, just slightly, because you don't want any hangover. So you see me go inside the material just a little bit with the Velcro. I'm going to do the same thing with this Velcro that I did with the circle Velcro. So I'm going to put the material glue, the fabric glue on there. And I'm going to spread it out and just stick it on there. It's the same. It's really easy to do it this way. And with the Velcro and the fabric glue, it just makes life much easier. However, what you have to do is make sure you let it sit for a few hours. Since it's nighttime here, mine is going to be sitting overnight. And the few that I did before, you can let them sit for a few hours and get it done. That's how you want to do it, that's cool. As you can see, my mask is not together, and I did this for demonstration purposes, but it's a good idea if you do it that way. Just put it together before you sew the actual mask together. This saved me so much time to do it this way with the rectangle as well as the triangle. Just do it before you put the mask together, because when you put the mask together, you'll still be able to bring it through the hole, and I'll show you that later. And when you put it back together, make sure that it lines up. I have put my mask together, I took it apart and put it together, only to find out I didn't flip it the right way, and that's quite annoying. So you want to make sure that the material meets as it's supposed to. It's very important that you do that. Now I'm over at the sewing machine, and this is the string that I use for what I call ears, and I got that off of Amazon. And I'm just showing you how I measure. My string is very forgiving as far as stretching is concerned, and you just want to measure it and see how. You don't want it to be too long because then it won't get a tight fit on the person's face. So I measured one piece, and I'm doing the second piece. When you make sure you don't pull the string when you're measuring. Do not stretch the string while you're measuring. Now I like to put my ears on this way. I like to put them on first, because that way once you sew it all up and then you have to stick the ears in there, to me it takes too much and my hands can't deal with it. So I do what works best for me, and you do what works best for you. If you like to put your ears on last, put them on last. If you like to put them on first, put them on first. I just find this to be so much easier for me to put the ears on first. And I also want to say that when you put the ears on and you get ready to sew the mask together, You want to make sure that the ears are all the way tucked in away from where you're going to sew your seam. Because if you sew your ears down, then you have to take it apart and do it again. How do I know? I've done it. Trial and error. Trial and error. So I've done it before. As you can see, I'm placing these ears where I want them to be, making sure that the string is not at the edge. Please don't put it at the edge, because it's just not going to work right if you do. So I'm sewing the second ear on. And guys, for I don't know how you do it, but you see that Maxwell House coffee jug? Someone gave that to me, and I find it to be a lifesaver as far as string, because I can't stand string, and I put my extra string in there. Instead of have to have a big old trash can, I just put my string in there. And now I'm just sewing around the entire mask, leaving a space, the little triangle space on there. And I'll show you why in a few minutes. So just sewing it. I realize my light is too bright. However, I'm sure you get the gist of what I'm saying. There, I'm trying to make sure the ear is not going to be sewn over, and the spot is not supposed to be sewn over. I got those shears. My husband purchased those from Amazon for me. I was using dollar store scissors, and they start getting dull and start messing up your material. So he got me some shears. Now you see the hole? I just pushed it through that hole instead of through the teeny triangles, because with the flap being already on there, it would be kind of difficult to try to get it through those little holes at the top. And you want to make sure that you pull it all the way through. Now I'm going to sew the little openings I have at the top and the bottom. And depending on how tight you want the mask to be, that's how low you're going to go as far as sewing that little opening. But you don't want to go too low though, because people need room. And so when you flip it, it has a little nose to it, or a chin. So now I'm just doing the opposite end now. And there you have it. It is done. With the flap. And I apologize for the lighting. Didn't realize it was that bright. But there's the flap. And now for the hole there. Someone asked me, do I sew that hole? But what you can do here is use that fabric glue and just put it on the inside of the circumference of the circle, and just put it in there and let it dry. And instead of you having to sew it, it's just so much easier to do it this way. That way you don't have to worry about it being, even and all that, because the glue will show you where it's going to meet at, and it's done. So I'd like to say thank you for watching my video. God bless you. Have a great night. I hope this helped. The lighting is bad on here, but I hope it helped.